Hey guys, Horror Man again, back for another review. So today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the brand new DC Collectibles Harley Quinn, and this is based off the Batman the Animated Series. This is actually Harley's first appearance. She never appeared in a comic. The first appearance was the animated series. So this is a very unique figure, especially for anybody who's a fan of Harley Quinn. So let's get right into it. It's pretty much the same as all the other packaging for Batman the Animated Series. You get this nice red and black card, and then on the back it's the same red and black, but they actually flip-flop the colors. And then you have the name clearly written on the side here, a number 12 to signify the number 12 character in the series. And then you can see Batman the Animated Series in the front, followed by DC Collectibles. And then taking a closer look at the packaging, you can get a little bit better look at her, and you can see the different accessories that she comes with. So this figure was originally intended to be released in the summer of 2015, but due to so many breakages with the initial wave, with Batman, Catwoman, and Mr. Freeze, they decided to actually delay several characters. Harley Quinn was one of them, so it's awesome that we're finally getting this figure. A lot of people have been waiting for it. Alright, so here's Harley out of the packaging with all of her accessories. And just on first look, this seems to be a pretty cool figure. She is definitely, I'd say probably the smallest figure so far. Now before I get too far into it, you do get a couple flyers with this, or a checklist rather, and this is basically all the characters that were on this sheet so far. Now, since she was released later, all of these figures are out by now. The only one that isn't out, I believe, is this Killer Croc and Baby Doll, but there's several more figures since Harley was originally pictured here. But anyway, here's a checklist of basically the Wave 1 figures. So each one of these figures is based off a specific episode they appeared in, and for this case it says episode The Man Who Killed Batman. So this is the one that this figure specifically is based off of as far as the accessories and the look of the figure. And then also included is just a little cool little drawings of how the characters go on the different stands. Now, the one thing I liked about the new Batman figure from the Batman the Animated Series, the stand that he had was a lot better. It didn't have the long back plastic piece, and this Harley figure does have that stand with that long piece in the back. Okay, so taking a closer look at Harley Quinn, the head sculpt's actually pretty good on this. They did a pretty nice job of making sure they keep that line straight with no real red going into the black or black going into the red. There might be just a tiny, tiny bit of bleeding over into the black with the red, but it's really not too bad. She's got that really kind of squishy face and big grin, so it's definitely very similar to what we would expect from the animated series appearance. So I think they've done a pretty nice job of capturing what she looks like. It's also nice that they did get the little blue eyes in there. One of my biggest complaints about the Poison Ivy figure that they came out with is she has no eyes at all. So the fact they actually painted on a figure that's even smaller, especially a smaller head, I don't know, it's kind of confusing, so I guess they just, since they revised the figure, maybe they paid a little more attention to the paint details on this figure. But yeah, the paint's pretty good on this. I really like this little piece here, the little neck piece. I think they've done that pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with the head sculpt. Another thing I really like about this figure, and I mentioned the eyes already, but you can even see a line in the teeth. And a lot of these figures have just had just white pieces there, but they actually put a line so you could see where her teeth are. So I'd really, really like that extra bit of attention. So the paint details are really good on this figure, and it makes me very happy because I know they've had some issues with some of the other figures. Figures like Two-Face and Harley Quinn are really hard to get that paint right because you have these perfect lines separating red from black. And Two-Face, like just the human face from the kind of monster face. So you really got to be good with this paint apps and make sure that you're not going to bleed red into the black, or especially black into the red. And I think they've done a pretty good job of that for a mass-produced figure. There's definitely nothing that I could really see wrong here. So I'm definitely impressed by that. And this is a really popular figure, so it's nice that they, gave her a little bit of extra attention. You see the little black diamonds here on her left arm, and then you can see some on her thigh, and then also some on her butt here. So they've definitely, captured the signature, parts of the outfit. So I'm really impressed by that. And then down to the feet, which are so small, they're even done well. And I'm amazed that a figure this tiny can actually stand on her own. I'm sure it's just because of she's a very thin figure, but still, I mean, it's definitely impressive. But you can see a little bit of diamonds again on the back of her calf. So very, very cool. Impressive paint apps again for a 6-inch figure. Especially coming off of a lot of people kind of complaining about some of the paint apps. To have such a detailed outfit actually done this well is, pretty impressive. We'll go ahead and go over the articulation. So the head is pretty much on that same, I guess it's a ball joint. You can get a little bit of tilt, not much. But as far as left to right movement, she gets pretty good. But yeah, you're not going to get any up and down movement. It's pretty much left to right only. So it may not be that same ball joint that we're kind of used to. The arms here are cut on the shoulder, and then the elbows are also cut. And even though she's very thin, it really doesn't seem like it's going to break or anything. The joints actually feel really nice. You could feel a click to them when you're actually, just bending the arm. And then the hand can rotate, and she can also kind of cradle the hand, which is nice. And you've seen that a lot with these figures. Gives you some really good movements. And then the waist has nothing. There's a little bit of a cut here, and that's about as far as she can go out. And then she can also go out just like that, like a split. And then the knee has articulation. And then the feet don't appear to have anything. Actually, no, I'm wrong. There's a little bit of a rock on there. Not too bad. But yeah, as far as the twisting of the ankles, you're not going to get that. But yeah, you do get a little bit of a rock on that heel. And that's about it. So, I mean, as far as articulation for something so small, it's actually pretty impressive. And she doesn't feel like she's going to break at all. So as far as the accessories, like I said, I mean, it is based off of that particular episode. For me, I would have loved to have had the mallet included, but if it's not in that exact episode, then, I can understand why they didn't. But still, I mean, it's a Harley Quinn figure. I think the mallet would have been nice. What we do get is this cool little fish. It's like that Joker fish with the little grin and lipstick and crazy eyes. So it's got some pretty nice details. I actually really like this accessory. I think the mouth could have been a little bit more teeth kind of drawn in, and especially being white teeth would have been nice, because that's kind of like what it looked like in a show. But it's a small accessory, and it's definitely cool. You don't really get a lot of these. I've seen Joker figures included with these before, so it's nice to have one of these in a 6-inch scale. And then her really only extra accessory is the gun. And this gun's kind of interesting. It has this kind of goldish brown end. So I don't know if this was a pop gun or it just looks like that. But yeah, that's about the only detail on it. So it's kind of strange. It looks like a pop gun. I'd have to go back and really watch this episode to get what this is. But yeah, this is the gun that she comes with. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is just going to be little hands, and you get a trigger finger for each hand. You get a fisted hand for each, and then you get one black, one red. And then you have the open hands that she has here. So as far as accessories, this is definitely kind of weak. It would have been nice if they would have included the mallet or something else, just because we've been waiting so long for this figure. But, as it stands, that is all of her accessories. Alright, and of course you do have the one stand, which I guess you can consider an accessory, but it's not the best. One thing I mentioned about these is it's that older stand where it has that long back to it, and with the new Batman stand you didn't have any of this, so it's so much nicer to display, but you really can't put anything behind these displays, so I'm not huge on that. I do, however, like the drawings that are on here. And you can see it says Harley Quinn up here, turn around, and then you could just see a few different angles of the figure. So she's got a couple different hands to choose from, as I showed. You have the trigger finger, the open palm, and you also have the fisted hand. And you get a red set and a black set, so you can kind of choose which hand you want to put on each different side. And then if you want to put the gun in, you just have that little handle here, and then you could just fit it right into the hand, and that's her trigger hand. And then if you want to go ahead and put that on, you just simply pull it off, and you have that long peg on there. And then go ahead and put that gun in her right hand. There you go. So I don't know, I kind of prefer to put the weapons in the hands before I actually put them on, just because the paint tends to fade off or just scrape off of these figures very easily, especially I know the Joker I had issues with. But yeah, she seems to hold the gun pretty well. And like I said, I mean, that's really her only accessory. If you want her to hold the fish, it's kind of heavy, so you might have to play around with that just a little bit. I don't think she's going to hold it very easily on her own. You might have to just kind of put it close to the body or something, but yeah, that's pretty much it for accessories. Like I said, I'm just a little disappointed with the accessories, but it is what it is. Alright, so here's her holding the fish, which I was surprisingly able to do. It's definitely a little bit of maneuvering needed, but you can see how her thumb kind of just holds in between those two fins. So maybe she can, hit Batman in the face with this fish, or feed the penguin, I don't know. But yeah, it seems like she can at least hold the fish for a little while anyway. Alright, so for the first comparison, here's Harley next to Joker, Batman, and Catwoman from Batman the Animated Series. And these match up pretty good. I mean, I guess pretty much what you would expect. Harley might be just a tiny bit on the short side, but all in all, I think they look pretty good. Alright, and for the second comparison, here's Harley next to the Arkham City Harley Quinns. So you can see a pretty good size difference. These are more in the 7-inch scale, and like I said, Harley's in more of a 6-inch scale. So definitely different looks over the years. And for the last comparison, here's Harley standing next to the NECA Heath Ledger Joker from The Dark Knight. And again, he's in a 7-inch scale, she's in a 6-inch scale, so they're not going to match up too good next to each other. But they're still great figures. Alright, so that's my review. All in all, I'd say to definitely pick this figure up. We waited a while for a Harley Quinn animated series figure, and the fact that this is her first appearance, I mean, you really can't get much better than that. The scale's really cool. I mean, she's just a tiny bit on the small side, but even though she's small, the fact that she could stand on her own 2 feet is just so cool. I think that's probably the best thing about this figure, because there is definitely some figures like Two-Face that really can't stand up very well. But this is a very light figure, and the fact that she can function with the articulation without any worry of breaking makes it even a better figure. The only worry I would have is when you're taking this gun out of her hand, and when you're taking the hands out of the arms, just to watch out for that paint, because I've had a little bit of the red coming off, but just on the pegs, so it's nothing that you would even see. But yeah, definitely be careful of that. Another thing that's really nice, though, and I really have liked about these figures, is the fact that you could really do a lot of expression with these hands, like cradling the hands and things like that. So it's really made this animated series a little bit more likable for me, because even though these are really different, simplistic designs, they've really added a bit of articulation to them, and you know, they're not scared of putting the articulation in there. You know, just the fact that DC Collectibles would actually delay such a strong series just to make the customers happy and the fans happy. You know, they want to deliver good quality collectibles, and I think they really have done that. This figure just came out today. Also be hitting stores tomorrow, depending on what day your comic store receives product. It was $24.95, and you should be seeing it in more stores coming soon. So thanks for watching my review. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment, question, and until next time, guys, I will see you later.